ratings and was canceled after only 3 seasons.
But the show refused to die. Star Trek then went into syndication and became television's most popular adult science fiction show.
21 years later, Star Trek is once again headed for prime time. But on this journey through space, there's going to be a whole new cast and crew.
He's driving a bigger ship, or sailing a bigger ship. I'm not quite sure, actually, what the word is.
The ship is the Enterprise, and the actor, Patrick Stewart, is its new captain. What you say, no William Shatner? Not this time. There'll be no Captain Kirk, no Dr. McCoy, and no Mr. Spock when the famous starship of TV and movie fame begins its next mission. Instead, we'll have...
Commander Riker is the second in command, essentially the same rank as Spock, who you may remember.
She's called Deanna Troi. She's the ship's counselor. And in this part of the 24th century, the ship's counselor is the third most important person on the ship.
Marina Sirtis, Jonathan Frakes, and Patrick Stewart are hoping the universe is big enough for 2 sets of Star Trek adventures. While the stars of the original series continue the string of hit movies, these new faces will bring Star Trek back to TV this fall as a weekly series. Star Trek, The Next Generation, takes place 85 years after the original. It features a 10 times larger Enterprise and a crew of proportionately larger numbers. Paramount Television hopes you'll find 1 or 2 characters in the bunch you can love as much as What's His Name, or What's His Ears. Here's something you didn't see on board the Enterprise the first time around. A teenager. Regular cast member Will Wheaton, direct from his hit movie Stand By Me, explains.
The premise behind our show now is that in the 21st century, there's a big emphasis on life and comfort and stuff like that. So we have families and children aboard the ship.
They also have Klingons. The baddies from the original series have made peace with humans, giving actor Michael Dorn a chance for 2 firsts. He plays the first Klingon starship officer, and he's the first black actor to portray one of these swarthy-skinned aliens. Now, in the past, light-skinned actors such as Taxi graduate Christopher Lloyd were darkened up with makeup for the job. Root star LeVar Burton is not a Klingon, but his lieutenant, J.G. LaForge, is television's first disabled spaceman. He's blind, but sees with an amazing prosthetic visor.
The visor gives me the ability to perceive what's actually there, and I make a mental adjustment. I use my natural sensors in a very different way than other people do.
LeVar's visor isn't the only mechanical comfort he finds aboard the Enterprise.
His best friend is an android, Lieutenant Commander Data. He is full-blown circuitry and positronics.
A robot, a bionic man, a Klingon, and a teenager. It's a quirky group, and let's not forget Marina Sirtis. Her counselor character is half human, half alien. Sound familiar?
No, she's not a Vulcan, but if you look deeply into my eyes, they're deep, black, large eyes. She's half Betazoid, which is, you know what that is, right? I don't have to explain.
Marina and her co-stars are hoping the fans will be as curious about Betazoids as they were about Vulcans. Time will tell if the new faces and races are accepted.
It was a very magical thing to bring the cast together. It was just one of those things that does not happen very often. To do that again, the odds are incredibly against that.
Producer Robert Justin hopes the old hands behind the camera will help the new faces in front of the camera find that magic.
The ratio is probably not even 5%, but it's who they are. After all, it's Gene Roddenberry, and he created the show. A couple of writers. Our set decorator is the same decorator we had for the 2nd and 3rd season of the original series. I was on the show from the beginning with both pilots and the 3 seasons of the show.
A man of words instead of a man of action. A man instead of a Vulcan. A curvy counselor instead of a craggy country doctor. Will it work? The battle looms ahead this fall. For the new cast and crew of the Starship Enterprise, the first battle won't be with Klingons or Romulans. The first battle will be with the ghosts of television past.
Now, you may find this hard to believe, but LeVar Burton is the only member of the new cast who's a Trekkie. In fact, everyone in his family is a Star Trek fan, so his new role is a fantasy come true. Well, coming up next, we'll meet a Goodwill ambassador who's only